not a bad area. Oh, there are prisons all over Iona now.
And it was the juvenile hall.
Oh, the juvenile.
Yeah, it was like across the street from the juvenile hall.
Yeah, well,
It should be good. I put it back on Chromecast, so you don't have any.
Thank
Once
you.
you plug it in, it pulls it off the HDMI, and that's how you can't see it.
Thank you.
To be fair, I always have trouble with Chromecast. I don't know how.
so they still interested in looking at my deal or no? They still want to see it?
Yes, yeah, we're talking about,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get them to come to town tomorrow.
Okay.
It sounds like they're gonna be come media.
Because it just is getting tight, so that way they'll have some time to think about what area they want to be in and take their time instead of just like, okay, so the whole maybe by the juvenile detention center might have been nice, but maybe long term they don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of push into something. Ugh,
Exactly.
it's really hard. It's really hot.
How's everybody's Tuesday going?
Still over Facebook.
So far, so
Marketplace.
good.
So over managing Facebook Marketplace, I'm done. People were yelling at me last night, like, I'm just saying, do you want the chairs or not?
Right.
And she texted me after, I thought this came with 2 ottomans. I said, clearly my listing said 2 chairs and 1 ottoman. I'm very sorry that you're unhappy. Well, my family was really mad that this took so long. I said, oh my gosh. Well,
Yes,
listen,
do you want it or not?
Yeah,
your
that's
kids
what
are
starts-
still
yeah,
going
start
with me. I
there.
said, well, your kids are supposed to come. They were really not happy about this. I don't know if they're gonna get it or not, but I'm gonna die soon anyway. I said,
Oh my word.
gosh, stop it.
You're making me feel like an idiot.
No, I didn't feel like it. At that point, I was like, do not put your guilt on me. Do not try to guilt trip me. Oh my gosh, it's just insane.
That's crazy.
2 more items, 2 more items trying to get rid of. Anybody want a bureau table? It's really nice. There's for sale stools.
Like literally stools made out of that.
Sure, here, look at this. This is a cool table. It's made out of a whiskey barrel. Sets a ton of it.
This is already marker than I've had like 4 days.
Mm.
Look at that.
Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Where did you get a 4 full horse? Those were crazy. They're ginormous.
Yeah, I
I
know.
couldn't even sit on them.
Oh, you can. It's like, you know, riding a steer. You know.
They're regular studs.
But it's in great shape.
That is really cool.
Stamp
And
it
so-
down. Today, I am meeting a lady to come look at this and thank goodness.
And it kind of, all of them kind of just fit right underneath there, so.
Yeah, they do. Plus the top comes off. It'd be great, like poker table or game table or puzzle.
Mhm.
You can have an increase on it. But some of these out in the market for like $200 to $200.
What's up, mentor?
Hey.
How are
I'm
you?
gonna, good, I'm gonna have to switch because of all the things that just got added on Thursday.
I was actually gonna ask you
Okay,
about the class.
yeah,
How
that
she
sounds
feels
good.
about the
I didn't know there was pizza, I wouldn't have left, I would've just ate pizza.
I didn't know we were getting lunch today either, so.
Yeah.
I told Brian we weren't.
Oh, so that's where he's at, cause he has to have lunch, he always leaves and comes back, so.
I don't know, he was like, what are they feeding us today? I was like, I didn't see anything.
I never. It's complete. I know, I couldn't believe it.
You
should just say $1,000.
I know, that, man, I fall off my chair, cause I don't usually gamble, so I don't know what happened. Whenever I'm up north, I get dragged up to the casino. My sisters, always. People are calling me, and then I won $990. I almost fell off my chair, I couldn't believe it. I remember one, usually I do this right away.
What do you play usually? Like just the slots or?
Yeah, just lots, yeah.
Susan, that's funny you say that, because every time I go down to Chicago to visit my cousins, they always.
I lied, they brought pizza. I was like, let's go, let's go.
My two sisters dragged me to the casino, but the casino up there had crab, to be fair, for $7.79. Got a whole
Crab?
pound of crabs.
Wow.
And the original bill on it, when it came, the dinner usually costs, it was like $57, $7.79. I said,
They
okay.
have,
That's good.
unlimited prime rib and crab legs at Fun Lake on Friday and Sundays.
Really? But
Yeah.
isn't it like 50?
Yep.
50
But it's
bucks.
worth it. if
I
you eat like me.
know. It was terrible. My daughter and I went, it was just ridiculous. I'm not even gonna tell you how we feel. All we did was sit and crap.
Do you live back on Lake?
Nope, but I'll make the community.
This bed's for some. This is so-
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, you're not down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mattress.
But you used to live down there, right?
I used to live near my cousin,
Could you make it?
so not
Yeah.
super close.
What? I said, where are you
Gun
going?
Lake?
I said,
What?
can't sell.
Did you say Gun Lake?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't usually go down there, but I know someone that like invited me down there.
You ever go to casinos?
But I've never been down there.
Nice casino. They just like remodeled a bunch. It used to be super small.
What's it called?
Gun Lake.
The
Gun Lake
The-
Casino.
the restaurant part of the bar.
Well, they redid all of it, and then they put in that
Oh.
way oasis,
Yeah.
right? So it's like this huge dome with the pool and everything inside
Oh,
of it.
okay.
Have you been?
Because they used to do live music, like most Friday and Saturday nights, like in the sports bar thing of it. But now they do most of the live music in the pool thing. Right, because like
Oh,
after,
okay,
after
yeah.
6 p.m., it's 21 and up on the
Yeah.
weekends.
It's a lot of fun.
I think
I've never done the pool though, because I'm worried like, I don't know, there's like pool, there's like
Most-
cars in the pool. And I'm like, I'm not about to swim around.
But
in this
most
thing.
people are
What
not
happened
in the
to-
pool. Most people
Oh,
are
really?
dressed in regular clothes, walking around the pool with the bars and that's
Really?
the-
Oh.
Yeah.
What up?
Hey,
Hello.
Oh, they're just walking around. Fun.
have you been to the deck in Muskegon?
Yep.
You been there?
Yep. It's an okay venue, yeah, but I ain't driving an hour to go
Where I go?
listen to something in the venue.
Is that done?
Help yourself.
What do we got? Do we need our computer?
I don't know. Okay, I brought it just in case.
Not for this one. Would you hand one to Katie and Sid, Brian? Yeah, I got a phone call yesterday
You good?
from a lady that runs a like little magazine around Gun Lake. We know you sell properties here, blah, 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 blah. and Love to have you as a featured contributor in there. What's your price point? Oh my God, I don't normally do that stuff. It does not,
What up, dude?
I've never seen a return, it doesn't pay off.
How you doing? Good.
Well, our Gun Lake, blah, blah, has a subscription of 6,500, blah, blah. I said, if a house isn't on the market by the 4th of July on Gun Lake, it won't sell this year. What? It's 100% true. So I'm like, if you wanna reach out to me again in like February, I might consider doing 3 months in the spring, but yeah, I'm not gonna sign up right now.
Is it really expensive?
It's like 300 a month.
Some guy approached me to be on a menu.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. I don't know.
What did they want to do for $300?
There are all kinds of these like magazines,
How are you?
right, that come out specific to your area, right? So there's like Ada Living, and there's one for, Granville, there's one for Byron Center, there's one for Caledonia. It's all part of the same like multimedia marketing company. So they do the print copy magazines, but I mean, really, the magazines are they're really just for advertisers, right? So they will feature a family, and then usually have like a recipe, and then they'll have like all the events going on page, and I mean, I glance at it and go, you know,
Kendall, I'm trying to get in the Caledonia one.
Is it Hearst Media?
and pay them for it.
No, I want them to interview me for free so that I get my picture on the cover.
I was on the cover of the Ada one like 7 years ago
Oh,
when I was running all the Ada events and stuff, but I mean, it really doesn't do much. So, usually when people ask you to pay for something, just say no. And two, she's like, well, you know, we don't have any. I'm like, you don't have any realtors advertising in the magazine right now. She's like, no, we don't. And I'm like, but Taylor Crawford and Denny Moore both live on your lake.
that's pretty smart.
I've never heard those names. You don't know what about their lake, do you?
I'm doing a flip house on Gun Lake right now,
Yeah. Where at?
on Marsh Road.
Yeah, I've got one on Harmony right now that closes Friday.
Oh, yeah,
So,
so
which Marsh
I'm
goes?
flipping the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Your first one? Rock, you should have on the list.
No. Torch Lake.
No, I think
Anybody's
it's
got
on
property on Wall Lake.
I don't think Kid Rock has ever had a place on Gun Lake. Torch Lake is his lake.
Maybe for like.
Are you talking about the one that, the big-
Okay, does everybody have a packet?
I haven't seen it.
Alright, we're a little bit behind, so I'm gonna get started, but today we are gonna run this format, very similar to what we just did earlier during the meeting with this. Except I'm gonna need another one of these flip charts. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So, how many of you have seen the playbooks? A couple. Okay, they're getting rewritten and redone. I don't know which ones are going away and which ones are coming back, so I managed to grab all of them before they went away. And we're gonna start doing the class, looks like every other month that goes into the playbooks. So this is actually just a section of the MREA playbook. Okay, on listings. And I call this one Win the Listing Every Time because these are good reminders and it's just great conversation starters. So I want us to have the conversations around what we see in here today. Does that make sense? All right. So if we're starting with the first page here, on the back of that, you're going to see the list to last page, right? So listings are critical to your ability, grab some lunch if you want it, to build your business to its highest level. Listings will help you understand your market's trends and inventory, and they will help you gain more control over your time and money. Why are they critical to your ability to build business?
Well, listings,
Mm-hmm.
because they're faster money income than looking for buyers. No.
Build your business. How are you going to build your business?
Oh, your
Well, you
reputation.
could do like circle prospecting, do open houses.
So how many of you have heard the phrase listings control the market? And listings equal leverage, right?
Yes.
I know you've all heard us say that. So why does a listing give you leverage? Somebody just said one thing that it gives you leverage about just a minute ago.
Listing, you have an upper hand.
It brings you buyers.
Yes, listings bring buyers. How do listings bring buyers?
There are people who have their hands raised already. They're interested in purchasing. They have pre-approval.
How does- That's a buyer. How does a listing bring you a buyer?
Your
You're
sign.
looking at the seller.
Your sign, it's listed with your number on the MLS, which goes to Zillow, Realtor, all types.
Somebody just a second ago also said, right, we have circle prospecting and open house opportunities. So again, you know, as agents get more productive and they get busier, they tend to look at that open house as a chore and something that they don't really want to do. So then they advertise it in that wants and needs section, right? And you guys all pick it up. Why did they give that away? That's, they see it as a chore. But you get a listing, you worked hard for that listing. Now you have the opportunity to spend boatloads of time in that neighborhood and hopefully get another listing, right? And it's your sign in front of the house that people are going to call on. It's your number that's being published on the internet. Listings generate buyers, and it can also generate more listings. Do you remember the percentage or like number of months? If a house in a neighborhood sells, there's a good chance that what's going to happen?
2 months, another one's gonna be listed?
Within 2 months, another one's going to be listed. So if you didn't work that neighborhood, just lost out on a potential second listing, right? Okay. Seller listings are also good for creating referral and repeat business. In fact, according to the most recent NAR profile of buyers and sellers, 63% of sellers found their agent through referrals or used an agent they previously worked with. 63%. That's big. Right? Which means if you do a good job and you stay in touch, then what? They're going to refer you. What else do we do when we first get that listing? If we're tagging stuff in command, what's our best option there?
Oh, write a note where we know them from, or what they like.
Mm-hmm. That's good because you're keeping up with what they enjoy, what their preferences are.
Right.
But remember, the National Association average also tells us that most people will move every 7 to 10 years. So like any seller that I have right now, I have a tag that says 2026. And I add that tag to them in command.
Yeah.
Because right now we're in 2026, right? So if I go back 7 years, that's 2019. So I have anybody between 2016 and 2019 that's tagged that way in command for me, I have stepped up how much I'm contacting them and reaching out to them. Because there's a high probability that they're going to be looking to make a move sometime soon. Right? So that may not seem that important now, but think about yourself 7 years from now, and you go, oh, I wish I had tagged them with that year. I don't even remember when they sold the house. Right? Okay. So when you're working with listings, your goal is to net your clients the most amount of money with the fewest number of hassles in the least amount of time. That's a really good phrase. Right? I always say it's to get you the best or the highest possible dollar amount with the best possible terms in the least amount of time. But this one is phrased really well too. So I would make sure that I have that phrase somewhere in my listing presentation to reference to make sure that I say that to them when I'm there. Yes? Okay, so then there are 4 core services: consulting to the decision, marketing the property, negotiating the contract, and getting it to the close. And again, underneath that 2-word sentence says, if you fulfill these core services and act as a fiduciary for your buyer clients, you may find that your listings will love you back. Or your seller clients. What is a fiduciary again?
You have their interest.
You have to put their interest above your own. Okay, awesome. Next page. Lessons learned from creating 400,000 listing leads. Now, we're not gonna go heavy duty into these, but again, they're conversations. So Ryan Young, you're gonna hear this right here, built the #1 team in Ohio. Ryan is in our Michigan, Northern Ohio region. He's in Cleveland. Okay. He focused on being a listing generation machine. He then founded Fellow, which is a lead generation platform that's created over 400,000 listing leads. This is his recipe for building a listing-based business. His two-part play is simple. First, build a database of homeowners. Second, incubate the database of homeowners to increase conversion. So he says, focus on introducing new homeowners into your database and discovering existing contacts in your database who own homes. With over 30 million contacts synced into Fellow, Ryan sees that 80% of his database doesn't have an address associated with the contact. So, when we're saying we're getting leads and we're putting them in our database, how do we know if they own a home?
You have their address, or you should.
But it doesn't necessarily tell me if they own it, though.
Bought or sold tag.
But let's say I just met you, Sid, and we had a great conversation. Maybe we're talking about real estate, and I'll say, like, just out of curiosity, do you own or rent?
You want me to answer that? Oh.
You know,
I own.
right? So I'm making notes.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. How long have you been in your house?
4 years.
Do you still love it? Love it? Love it?
Well, I'm having another kid and I need a new office.
So you might need more space. Okay. Well, have you seriously thought about that or considered that yet? Like, what time frame are you thinking of?
I don't have a time frame.
Do you want to move before that baby gets here or after? That's a good question.
Who's the one that has, who's looking at the boxes?
After.
After, there you go.
Most people are gonna say after. I have literally had clients that had to do mobile closings in the hospital because she was giving birth.
Oh my God.
Not kidding.
After.
But again, a baby is one of the big things it's going to do, right? So I mean, I'm just being really nice here. Okay, and I know you've got a while before the baby gets here, but when you're through all of that and you've had some time to settle in with the newborn, then why don't we sit down and actually have a conversation about what that looks like, and maybe I can help you put your plan together for what realistically works for you. Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
Now what am I gonna do after that conversation?
Get her number?
Set up an
I
appointment.
don't know.
Well, we're not gonna have an actual appointment until after the baby gets here.
Make notes and
Right.
command and
Yep.
set a
So I'm gonna
tag
make
and a
notes.
task.
I'm gonna make sure that I'm just kind of, staying in contact, shooting a text every now and then, depending on what level of acquaintanceship we're at.
Do you send her something after the baby's born? That'd be good.
Absolutely I do. So, and I always tell my clients, as we're going through the transaction, especially if this is somebody that you really kind of are vibing with, right? Like, I don't want to just be your realtor. Like, once we finish at that closing table, I want to be your friend too. So I want to come to the graduation parties and the weddings and the birthday celebrations. Please invite me. I would love to be there. Why am I going to that stuff?
To meet all of their contacts.
To meet all of their contacts. And how are they going to introduce you to everybody at that event?
Their favorite realtor.
Yes. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
So he says, number one, that the best way to build a database of homeowners organically is through the home value message. QR codes, URLs, and landing pages and all your marketing assets to get the message across with your home value in seconds. If you're looking to build a business 5 years out, that's what you should be doing right now. But again, this is one of those where if you plan on building a team and you plan on building out that business, this is a long-term strategy. This is not an immediate strategy. what's it called when we put something on a website or whatever for them to, that we want them to click on?
Like contact us?
It's called a mofer. So remember that, because you'll hear that word a lot. It's a mofer.
What's someone?
Mofer, M-O-F-I-R. Yeah, so like make opportunity for immediate response.
Oh,
Right. So when you're visiting a web page and it says click here to get more info or click here to get a free blah blah blah, that's a mofer. So once you click on it.
What was it? Make opportunity for immediate response?
Uh-huh. So that's what these are doing. And when you have larger teams or groups, frequently that's what they have, right? Like on their website, their landing pages, it will say like click here for a free home evaluation. That's how they're trying to get those seller leads in, and then all those leads feed into a pond, and then whoever's managing that pond is distributing them or making the phone calls on it. But this is also what we call a very low level response, right? Anybody can click on a website
right.
or a web page. A lot of times people click on something and they don't even understand what they're agreeing to when they click on it, and then they get mad when you call them, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when you have the manpower, it can be very effective and it can work. I think that for you guys starting out too, you need much more of that more personal approach.
Yeah.
Because again, 2,500 agents in Grand Rapids, there's no guarantee that anybody's even going to see your website.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, great. So the best way to discover existing contacts in your database is to automate messaging centered around home value to unidentified homeowners. It might sound intimidating to send a message centered around home value to someone if you don't know if they own a home, but Fellow has discovered that over 40% of databases are people who own homes and their agents just didn't know they owned a home or address. I find this one much more difficult to get to because this is asking us to send automated messages, which means either A, somebody had to register on their site, or B, you had to collect all their emails. Right, and that is sometimes more difficult to do. Where or what type of thing, function, event would this type of opportunity play well?
Well, it's just like any follow-up.
Well, I'm saying like scenario. What type of scenario could you use this type of system?
Oh. Expires? No? What is that called? Buy, sell, by sold person? No? Visibles? I'm not understanding the question.
Okay, maybe I'm not phrasing it correctly, because Katie's looking at me with that look too.
Yeah.
You have to have a whole bunch of people's email addresses that you have no idea who they are to make this work. And all of the resources that we have right now, when we go and we pull lists, it gives us phone numbers and it scrubs it against the do not call, but it normally does not provide us with an email address. So what activities would we be doing to collect a whole bunch of people's email addresses?
Call them?
Circle prospecting. Cold
Open
calls.
house.
Cold calls.
Reversing it.
Buying lists off of random websites.
Those all work. For me, where I've seen this implemented most often is if you are doing an event somewhere with some type of giveaway, right? Let's say that you were working the Spring Expo in Lowell and you had a booth and you had a little basket, right? And it's enter to win in the basket and they have to give you an email address. So if you collected 150 entries, you now have 150 name and email addresses that you can put into that database and that then you can start communicating with. Right? So I'm saying you have to have something to get this info. They were probably buying lists and all that stuff in the beginning as well. Okay. So 2, increase your database conversion. Segment your database by property attributes like price, location, time of ownership, and personalize messages to those segments.
Wait, where?
I'm on the box. Step 2, increase your database conversion right here.
Yeah.
Yep. So again, like some of these I agree with, some I don't. You can do that in any shape, form, or fashion you want, right?
Segment is basically divide,
Tag it.
tag.
Yep,
Okay.
tagging it. Right, so you could have tags that all say Byron Center, you could have tags that all say Greenville, and tags that all say Cedar Springs. Because then, like, if you wanna reach out to people that are in that Cedar Springs section, all you have to do is filter by the tag, and now you've got that whole group. And you can target market. All right, let's skip over. And I'm gonna skip like the lessons learned from creating the 400,000 listing leads. And we're gonna go to the next page. It says simple golden letters. How many of you have heard me talk about the golden letter? How many of you have actually done your golden letter? 3.
Wait, what is it?
The golden letter. How many of you continue to use the golden letter? 2. Okay. So with the golden letter, it says the trick to success is identifying an audience and targeting that specifically. At first, Will targeted resale properties. Now he is finding the same success targeting owners of second homes, and he breaks it down into 4 easy steps. Pick your mailing area, set up your system. Right, you're gonna have a call to action in your letter that asks the homeowner to call you. And you can expect that when your letters begin arriving, your phone will start ringing. This says select a voicemail system that transcribes the voicemail and emails them to you. You can use a platform like SlideIsle to send consumers straight to voicemail. And the message should be a regular greeting and not mention the business.
Where are you reading this? Sorry.
Flip your,
Oh,
there you go.
okay.
Okay. 3, send the letter. Now, this is the important thing. It's a kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Oh,
Everybody wants to get fancy. Everybody thinks the letter has to look extremely professional. Everybody wants their logo on it, blah, 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 blah. What they have found, no logos, no fancy setup. The simple letter on a white piece of paper is the key for this one.
okay.
So it might have your name at the top, and then it says, Dear owner first name, would you be interested in selling your home at 123 Main Street to a client of mine? If so, please call me on my cell at, thank you, there it is. But notice this disclaimer at the bottom. If your home is presently listed with another realtor, please do not consider this to be a solicitation. You are legally required to have that on any material that you send out, just blanket wide.
What is it?
It's hard to read right there, but on the very bottom of this letter,
Yeah.
it has that disclaimer. Because it is an ethics violation for you to solicit someone who is under contract with an agent. Right? So you have to have that on there. And then 4, you be responsive. So, if they show interest, then you're continuing the conversation. As you know, there simply aren't enough homes on the market. I'm working with 4 different buyer families right now, and we can't seem to find what they're looking for. Instead of waiting for the perfect house to come up, we're actively reaching out to homeowners like yourself in areas where our clients want to be to see who might be interested in having a conversation. So I have to ask, if you sold your home, where would you go? So this is another great way to prospect for listings, but this one, you're paying postage, right? So keep that in mind. Good, questions? Okay, we're gonna skip the from land to lifestyle portion.
That says 300 letters equals 6 conversations.
That's about correct.
Wow.
And 6 conversations, you probably get 1 listing out of 6 conversations, but that's 300 letters, right?
It's what, like a 0.5% return? And then half of that?
Say, what, 75 cents a letter by 300 letters? That costs you $225 to get a listing. It's pretty cheap, as far as as lead sources go.
I don't know.
If
You think it works like that?
There are lots of people that have also built their business with that letter.
If you find tuna and if you only send it to expired, you know that at some point they're interested.
Hmm.
If it just fell off 30 days expired versus 3 years, it'd have a higher return rate of interest potentially.
There's is he 18 or somewhere between 18 and 20-year-old? He built his whole business on the golden letter and is netting $1 million. Yes, what's his
Yeah.
name?
I don't remember. I can find it really fast. I just listened to it.
I can't think of his name.
Well,
He
it's right
presented
here,
it.
isn't it? It's Will.
It's Will. Yeah, he presented at
Yeah.
family reunion a couple
Will
weeks ago.
Van Wickler.
20.
There, yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've done 55. I've gotten 3 calls, but no appointment yet. So
Still, that's
That's
pretty
pretty
decent,
good.
isn't it?
All right,
Good
Kate.
job.
55 what?
golden letters.
Did you do it just
Oh,
expired?
okay.
I just did the
Oh.
name, no name, no
Okay.
address, no contact.
You wrote it.
Good
I
job.
mean, I typed it. Nobody can read my hand.
No, I didn't read my hand.
All right, and we talk all the time in coaching about work smarter, not harder. So let's say that you did want to use the golden letter. How are you going to determine what area that you focus on?
I would do like a nice area.
Define nice area. Every area. is-
I would be looking for higher price point homes.
Right.
Right, if I have a neighborhood that's 300,000, or if I may have a neighborhood that's 600,000, I'm gonna be sending them to the 600,000 neighborhood,
For sure, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Smarter, not harder.
yeah.
Okay. So boosting your business with expired listings, that is what we said to notice that we have the land voice system, right? I think a few of you are using land voice right now, right, and calling on expireds. So that is the top way to do it. Expireds are great because they have raised their hand in the past and said, I will use a realtor to sell my home. So then what pitfalls do we have from those expireds?
They're angry.
They're angry. Why?
Didn't sell.
Well, it didn't sell. Yeah,
Didn't get what they wanted.
sometimes.
Something.
Because of the realtor contract. So they might be hesitant to sign.
True. But one thing that nobody ever brings up with expired listings is that half of those that are expired were never going to sell anyway.
Mhm.
Why?
Overpriced.
Not just overpriced, but why?
They won't listen to the market.
They won't listen to the market. And the big thing behind that is they didn't have a true,
Agent looking out for their best interest.
Big strategy.
Expectation.
motivation. Remember, if there is no pain point forcing a move, they don't have to leave. And a lot of those expireds that are overpriced are because the neighbor down the road sold at this price, even though their house was way bigger, right, in a better spot. And they went, well, just for giggles, I'm gonna throw mine out there and see if I can get that much money out of it. They don't have to leave. They don't have to go anywhere. They just dipped a toe in the water. And some other agent was dumb enough to spend their time and energy and resources on that with nothing to show for it and money spent when it would never sell in the first place. So again, only half of those expired listings are actually going to go back on the market at some point in time.
So when I experience something like that,
Mhm.
with someone that is just hardlining it about the, yes, we should list it that, and I'll say, well, then there's another option of this data that I showed you of what I think your house would sell for.
Mhm.
Let's go ahead and get an appraisal.
You can absolutely do that.
And I have a great appraiser who does that. And he'll go out for $365 and appraise the property. And then there's the hard proof.
And I actually offer them a thing too. I say, I will pay for the appraisal right now. But then when the house closes, as long as we're in agreement that we're listing around that appraisal price, then you'll reimburse me for the appraisal, but I'll put the bill for it right now.
Question.
Yes.
Mr. Ed was talking about that fee. Is this something, like to charge a listing fee if the buyer changes their mind, the seller changes their mind or
Talking about the broker fee?
No.
something like,
No,
no.
he
no.
was wanting to add like if they bring your
Something like-
contract, but they pay you a fee or something.
There is a form from the Regional Forms Committee where they are agreeing to reimburse you your expenses if they decide not to go on the market. Right, that is like for your photos, if you already put the money out for that or blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing, I would never do that. Because let's say the circumstances changed, something happened and now they're not going on the market. Well, eventually at some point in time, again, they are.
Right.
And I wanna keep that relationship.
Yep.
And I wanna be the one that does list it again when that time is ready.
No, I'm sorry. I was asking if that was, not saying I would charge it necessarily, it depends on the situation. I don't know, but I wasn't sure if that was okay to do or if it's approved or something they're working on.
There is a form, there's
Oh,
been a
there
form
is?
for a
Oh,
long
really?
time.
Oh, I thought it was
It's not a
something new.
Keller Williams specific form, it's a regional
Gotcha.
form.
Okay. I wasn't
Um,
sure they were talking about it. I was like, what? They do that?
Right.
Yeah.
So, but personally, I think it's bad business. It's just
Right.
kind of a risk that you take in the world that we're in.
Right.
And again, if you list a house and it doesn't sell, and you are out the money for your signs and your photos and all that kind of stuff, usually the reason it didn't sell is because you didn't have it at the right price. And if you can't talk your seller into doing what they need to do to sell it, that's on you.
True. That's
Right.
true. Yeah. No,
Or you
100%.
took the overpriced listing, that's on you.
That's true.
So I had, who did I have? Brian and Nate this morning at the 9:30. And we had a conversation about that very thing, because when I'm in my listing presentation, I will frequently set up with them. So, not only are you interviewing me, I am also interviewing you. In order to get your home sold, it's going to be a partnership. And we need to be able to agree on things and work well together in order to make that happen. So we'll evaluate each other as we go through this night and figure out if we're a good fit. And I told them too, I still remember Kay Gronlier and her husband Brad. I don't think they'd ever thought of anything that way. And I had never met them. Kurt set the appointment, I show up, know nothing about these people. And that's sort of how I set the scenario. And we're getting through to one portion of the listing presentation, and Brad is kind of wanting to push back or argue with me a little bit about something. And she elbowed him. And she's like, shut up, she might not work with us.
That's amazing.
Isn't it though? But you're setting that expectation up front. And I've had another one too where, they wanted to list it at $45,000 higher than where it should have been listed. Development was only 40 years old. There was no way it was going to sell at that price. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm not the right person for you. I wish you the best of luck. They went on the market for 60 days with another realtor. It didn't sell. They came off the market. They lost the other contracts that they had for ones they were going to buy, and now they're just sitting there.
Still,
It's not back on the market.
yeah.
He's not done anything with it yet. But two, he was a surly, yucky grandpa who thought he knew everything, right? And I didn't really want to work with him either. But if I had taken it and done what he wanted to do, I would have been out all the money, still wouldn't have sold, and then he would have blamed me for it not selling. Right?
Sometimes it's better to talk away.
Sometimes it's better to walk away. Okay, let's get into our 5-step listing presentation here, which kind of goes along with what we talked about earlier. So, Glover's team has taken over 10,000 listings in his career, with him personally having over 2,500. I call BS. He's locally known as household name. content creation. Create content that communicates your unique value. The listing plan of action. Each component has a primary objective that helps drive home the team's value. 1, promotional marketing. How do you effectively market homes to maximize the seller's net? That is something that everyone should have at some point in their listing presentation is the marketing. Okay? Okay. So we're gonna write all these down first here. Can everybody see if I'm writing this low, this small? Can you still read it? Okay. So next they said institutional marketing. How you market you and your brand to the seller's advantage. Bull crap. Nobody needs that. Nobody cares about that. I guarantee you there are clients that I have helped 3 or 4 times sell their home and they probably couldn't even tell you that I was Keller Williams. Right? It's me. It's not the brand. Does the brand have a great name? Yes.
Yeah.
But that's not what sells a home. So, knock that one out of the park. Pricing strategy. Is that important?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is something that we want to have in our presentation. What's next on the list there? Somebody call it out to me.
Visuals.
Visuals. What does it say about visuals?
Have visuals that back up everything that you're saying.
Okay. So really what that's saying is a pretty format, right? And you should have some kind of photo or graph or something like that that backs up your data, right? Or what we're talking about, visuals. Okay. What's next?
Proof.
Proof. Tons of testimonials and reviews. If you're newer, you don't have a ton of those, right? How many of you went to Bold?
So what?
Bold. I said, how many went to Bold?
Oh,
Tyler, Katie, Peyton, Susan. What did you learn about reviews in Bold?
It helps people connect with you when they see somebody else, going through that experience.
What else did you learn about asking for reviews in Bold, Tyler?
People want to help you out. People are willing to kind of go that extra mile. You just have to remind them that it's there.
And if you didn't have 100 past clients to call, how do you get your reviews, Tyler?
You ask your friends and family around you, you ask your colleagues. So if you go onto my page, I actually have teams sold in bold. All the people from TJ Homes, they gave me reviews on there. So ask around the office too.
So can you still get reviews
mhm.
if you haven't sold 100 homes?
So,
There we go. Okay, awesome. And then how you show up on social media is content too. You must look the part. And I don't agree with that either. The general thumb or rule of social media is 80-20, right? 80% about things that you like in your normal life, 20% about business. I mean, do we need to put those up? We do, but don't make the mistake. Like when you're a newer agent, they tend to post like every single day with something about that property. Yeah, she said shake her head.
Well, because people just scroll past it.
People just scroll past it.
Well, they can't connect with you then. They need to be able to connect with you. They need to see you as a person, not you as a realtor.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so these were great. Marketing, pricing strategy, visuals, proof and reviews. What else do you think is very important that you should have in your listing presentation? We talked about it in the buyer presentation earlier too.
Commission.
Commission, that's one, yeah. What else?
Timeline.
Timeline. What else?
Contracts.
Yeah, docs. I'm gonna call that our docs.
Yep.
Services? I don't see that. on there.
Expectations.
Services can be one, yep. Expectations. I kind of, for me, like I am almost grouping the expectations into each one of these categories, right? Cause I'm kind of going over like what each one of those looks like, but you can't have an entirely separate category for that. What else is part of that listing presentation? There we go.
Okay.
You gotta tell them what's coming, right? And then I think another one too, like next steps. That's usually important.
I also include like what's their current competition, like what's on the market right now, so they. Okay, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
That's
I'm
off
just
the
saying this,
sold.
like
I
this
got it.
portion of
I got it. Yeah.
the appointment. Yeah. And then our next steps, right? Like now what are we doing after the appointment tonight? Now we got our doc signed. Here's all of our next steps. What else might we have on here? Anybody?
For listings?
I feel like it falls probably in the next steps, but like when the signs, when we're gonna order sign, photos.
Yep.
I
So
feel like
that can go
kind of
here.
goes-
And that can also go here. The one thing that we said earlier too is terms. I like to have some of the like common terms or phrases. Just so again, they know, like we've talked about it, I've explained it. Like, I don't want to forget to talk about what a multiple offer situation or a deadline looks like with them. And if they come back and go, well, what is a multiple offer situation? I failed. And sometimes when you're in the moment, they're going to have distracting questions. They're going to ask you something that you're not prepared for. They're going to want to jump from your number 1 to your number 5. So really what your presentation is it is meant to be a visual tool to take you through all of the information that you need to provide them with at the appointment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so do we want it to look cute? Yes. But really what it is it is an information tool. And remember, just having a presentation already puts you ahead of 50% of the agents out there. And you can include as much or as little of this as you want in your presentation. But the true thing to winning the listing is having your presentation and practicing it on each other, not the client. You need to practice that with each other till you understand everything you're going to say. And that if Sid is on, this part and I'm jumping right ahead going, yeah, but how much are you going to sell it for? You have to control the conversation. You have to be able to take that back. So if Sid just said that to me, I would say, that's a really good question and probably the most important one in your mind right now, right? That's what's most important to all of us, how much money you're going to get in your pocket. And we're going to get to that a little bit later. But first, we need to decide whether or not you're going to choose me and whether or not I'm going to choose you to work with to sell your home. Because if we haven't made that decision, it doesn't matter what the house is worth, right? Great. So may I keep going with this section? Thank you.
So how much is the husband? I'm just
But what did that conversation just do again?
try. Put them back on track.
I put it back on track. I addressed their cause and their concern. I also reiterated and put that fear of doubt back in again that I might not choose to work with you. Right? That's putting them, people don't like to think that you could not choose them.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
And remember, they're not just choosing you, you're choosing them. Flip the script.
I mean, if you can sit and negotiate with them, it's gonna make them feel better for you to go negotiate with somebody else.
And here's the thing, if they are combative with me and they don't agree with what I think the best process is to get their home sold, then again, they're not going to agree with me on price and it's not going to matter. So I want to already have them agreeing with me and seeing me as the expert before I ever get to that portion of the conversation. Okay?
I don't wanna go off topic too much, but this reminded me of, I'm sure you all heard of South Park.
Oh yeah, love South Park.
Eric Cartman goes and he inherits $1 million, buys a dying business, what do you call it? Amusement park, and then
Yeah.
he kicks everybody out. And that's when everybody wants to come back in, and because why are you kicking us out? We want to come in. And he became and all the businesses started doing the same thing. So that's
Yeah,
what
kicking
reminds
people
me.
out.
Yes, kick people out. Yes, or
Well-
not really, but like I don't want to do business with you.
I do.
Yeah.
So if you want to take notes about this, I'll leave it up. You can screenshot it later. And again, you can use as much or as little. But think about the listing presentation that you already have. Like how much of this is covered in it? And then how much of this did you miss or you leave out? Yes, I'm gonna go Tyler first.
The template that they have on Canva
Mm-hmm.
through our KW is really nice, and it has a glossary of terms in the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
And for my buyer clients, I actually use that. I'm like, hey, go look at this.
Mhm.
If you have any questions on any of this, please just reach out to me. But it's right here. If you need anything, all this information is here. And they've talked about how they've referenced back to that.
Yes.
You know, and then they come to me with better questions.
Mhm.
It's the template's awesome. You can kind of filter it in and put whatever you want, your pictures, your phone numbers.
It is. They have some really good templates on there. And Carla and Elijah are both willing to help you at any time. Leah will help you. Sid can help if you ask her for time. And they're all Canva whizzes. They do stuff way better. I'll figure it out, but it'll take me a lot longer to figure it out than what they probably already know how to do. And that's the other thing too, is I leave it behind. Right? I have my entire presentation, that glossary of terms, like everything that we've reviewed. And I have one of my pretty little KW folders with my card and stuff in it. And that stays with them because I want them to have it to be able to go back and reference, especially like the timelines and the next steps. So I actually have a sheet. When they were talking earlier today about having like your client information sheet where you fill all that out. I actually have a next steps sheet. And on that next step sheet, it will say photos will be this day. And I write in what day we're going to do photos, right? The sign should be in your yard on this day. If I'm going on the market on Wednesday, my sign's going in on Tuesday. I'm going to fill that in. Congratulations. We're live on the MLS on Wednesday, right? This day. Once we're live, remember, you're going to get an invite to showing time. So, I mean, it actually spells out for them. Here's what's coming for you in the next week as we're getting ready to go on the market.
So with your amount of experience doing these kind of presentations, would you say there's a specific order of this list of ideas or services or whatever, to put this in to make it more understandable and simple in terms of the buyer or the seller?
Good question. Yes, there is. But again, like my order may not make sense to you. I think that my order is the best order. Of course I do. But again, so when I sit down with them, the first thing that I am normally talking about, right, is sort of like this expectations or communication part. So mine says my commitment to you. And that page goes through like what my commitment looks like. So I am answering the expectations that they would have of me. And as I go through that too, I'm also sort of giving my expectations of them. Right?
Do you loop the goals, like what their goal is, into that as well during that time? Or is that separate? So I always like to know like what's their goals with selling or buying their property.
Usually I am having that conversation with them too, like when I'm doing my walkthrough. Because I'm using it as a tool to get to know them better when I'm walking through their home. But everybody does that differently. With buyers, I would do that sitting at the table, probably here at the very beginning, right?
Mhm.
So again, it just depends on how you want that flow to come in. But I'm asking those questions as I do my walkthrough, and then I'm getting those answers because that's also preparing me to help figure out what is most important to them when I sit down at the table to go through it. Right? Because some people aren't going to care squat about how I'm going to market it. They just want to know how much money they're going to get in their pocket. But if you have somebody who's very artistic or very into social media, they're going to be most concerned with what am I going to do to make it look pretty and how am I going to market it. So I'm getting the answers to those questions through my walkthrough. Right? And so let's just, we're going to go over. Is that okay? If you have to leave, you can leave at 1:30. Let's say I'm doing my walkthrough right now.
I said 2.
Oh, did it say 2?
Yeah.
I thought she put it on there. Sorry. Yay, I'm not going over. You're stuck with me. Okay. I am going to use Katie for this one.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Katie,
Yes.
you are the homeowner, and I am walking through your house with you.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, again, thank you for having me here, blah, blah, blah. We're doing part of our tour. So, remind me again. I know that when we first talked on the phone, you said that you need to be in a different school district. Like, was there a certain reason that you have to be in a different school district?
My children are really gifted and they need a very special program for their smarts.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, one, congratulations to you that you have such amazing kids. I'm sure you're very proud of them. And this is admirable, right? That you're going to move to another school district to get them what they need. So I assume then we have to be in that house preferably before school starts.
I have to be able to show proof of residency. So if we are in the process of purchasing a home, the school would accept our future address.
Gotcha. But I think from our conversation on the phone, like we are going to be contingent. So we have to sell this one
Correct.
to be able to buy the next one.
Yes.
So getting this one under contract as quickly as possible is going to be very important.
Extremely important.
Okay, great. Wow, I love what you did on the walk. See, I ended that conversation and went right back into something that I'm doing with my walkthrough. But what did I just learn from her?
She wants to stay in the district where kids go to school?
Well, she needs a new district.
Oh,
Right.
she's a new district.
Right, and it's already June. You need to be under contract on a new property by middle of August. That means we have to work very quickly. Quick, then that means what's more important to her, time or price? Time. That little snippet right there told me what do I need to focus everything in that around time. So, do you understand how you can do that now? Okay. So now we went through, we've toured a couple other things in the home, we're looking at something else, and I'm gonna say, okay, Katie, we've still got part of this to go too, but just for giggles, do you have an idea of how much you want your home to sell for?
I would love to sell it for at least $525,000.
Okay,
That's the bare minimum that I would be willing to accept.
and how did you come up with that number?
Going into the next school district that we have selected, most of the homes there are 500 and above. And if we get closer to the 500, it's gonna need a little bit of work. So if we could have the extra $25,000 for carpet and paint, I would really appreciate that.
Okay, great. Now what did I just learn?
She wants 525. Price?
Learned she wants 525. Now let's say that I've already done all the comps and I know in my head that we can probably get 5, but it's probably not gonna go over 5. So I already know that. So now, with what I just learned from her, how am I preparing for what that's gonna do in this conversation?
Yeah. Let's look for a house right now that fits your range. Let's stick around 500. And hopefully it doesn't need a lot of work. And then whenever you find the house that you fall in love with, save your money in a year or two, you can change the carpet and paint it.
Okay, that's great for the buy side, but I'm talking about the listing side. She wants 525, and I know she's not gonna get more than 500.
No, I
How am I
told-
gonna overcome that?
Oh,
Cause this is selling it, not
Oh, oh.
buying the next one.
well,
That's a good conversation for
Yeah.
buying the next one.
right, but I did the CMA and houses around you and based on your house probably net you about 500. 525 is a stretch, we can probably market it for that, but it might sit for a few days and not get a lot of offers, and we don't want it to stay.
Give you 2 weeks,
Okay.
2 weeks at your price point. If we don't get any offers, any showings, we aggressively go down to a price that's realistic for us.
Awesome, except we're under an extreme time crunch on this one. We don't have 2 weeks to give it. We need it under contract now.
We need it under contract now. Let's talk about a timeline that does work where we can go way more aggressive after you see your plan is now.
You gotta go deeper into her timeline piece now, because that's her pain point. Her pain point is time, not price. We learned that at the beginning. So we need to dive in deeper into that timeline. Like, if we don't get you into your next home by middle of September, what does that do for you
What
and your
happens?
family? What happens? What does that look like for you?
And why do I think I need $25,000 for paint and carpet? Like, how did I get that? How did I get that number?
And, right,
Fair.
right, and
Flip
I
side.
will, yeah, so I would dig into that portion later, but she's right. I'm gonna dig in, and, I'm not doing it right away. We're gonna look at something
Yeah.
else, we're gonna talk about something else again,
Love your
but I
shower
have that in my
curtain.
head.
That's
Bill,
a really
you have
nice
something you
shower
wanted to
curtain.
say?
Yeah, I would just tell
Hold on,
them,
Bill's got,
I would just ask them like, you need to figure out kind of which is more important right now, your time or your money. Because that could get you a whole lot. If they say time, then you can say, okay, kind of leverage that. Okay, now, if you want your house to sell, you need a marketable price for the property. Otherwise, if you want money, you might run into issues like, he's not in here anymore, but he was saying, your house might go down in value. It might stay on the market for a couple weeks. So I think just getting, kind of what Sid was saying, just getting that, clarification about which is actually more important in terms of their price, or their timeline, because that can also reveal a lot about their intention with that property.
yes, here's the thing though, and you're right. I want them to see me as the expert before I ever sit down with that presentation. So I'm gonna keep twisting the screws while I'm doing that walkthrough. So now she's told me all this. I know that she has to at least be under contract on a new home for those kids to be registered in the new school district. I know that she wants $25,000 more than what that home is worth. I know that there are 12 other homes on the market right now in that price point, and if we list at 525, she's gonna sit, right? She doesn't wanna hear me tell her that yet.
She has to self-discover a
Yes.
little bit. And so your job is to kind of pull that out of her without telling her this is what's going to happen. You kind of want to pull it out of her. And then once you get to your CMA spot, now you have the data to support the conversation that you just had with them.
So how do you do that if she's in an extreme time crunch?
Because here's the thing, here's my next spring that I'm gonna bring up. Remember, I'm gonna keep twisting the screws. So I've looked at a couple more things. I'm gonna say, okay, Katie. So you said you gotta be under contract on the new one before the school season starts. We know they're not gonna accept contingent offers, right, in the district that you need to be in, because they sell in 2 days, right? And we know that you want 525 for this one. What happens if you are not under contract on that new home when school starts? Will they let them transfer in, or do you have to wait for the next? So you have to wait for the next school year to try to get in.
Yes.
So
Not
this,
next school year, not even like halfway through, like the following August, I would have to wait.
so this time crunch is extremely important.
Yes.
Okay,
What's the worst
Write it
case
out.
scenario? Drag that out.
She already knows it.
I'm driving this home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? What I'm already doing right now in her head is saying, oh crap, what if I'm not in the next school district? I don't wanna wait a whole nother year. oh crap, I don't wanna do that to my kids. I need that next home now.
Kids is an easy one.
Kids is an easy one.
It's a really
But
easy
as I'm
one to
driving
drive.
that screw home, right, now I'm armed with everything that I need when I sit down and actually go through this.
I think the only other thing I would want to know is like, when is the cutoff date exactly? Like, we talked mid-August, right? But like, when do you have to have that enrollment form submitted? Do you know that date from your school? Okay, perfect. August 11th, right?
Okay, good
Like
stuff.
knowing that hard date, so we can really like
Mhm.
hone in on that date and that be our target goal.
Yeah.
So then as I sit down, I'm going to go through what it looks like, right? I'm going to set the expectations, what my commitment is, that kind of thing for her, for selling your home. Then I'm going to go through, and I do have some visuals, but my visuals are connected more to this marketing too, right? So with marketing, like the first thing that I talk about are photos, right? Photos matter. I have that conversation. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is the MLS and the 500 websites that it's going to feed out to. Third-party websites that I have no control over. Right? I talk about that with every single property. I have no control over Zillow, and Zillow will get your home wrong. And I can't fix it. Right? Okay, so I'm talking about that. Then I'm going to talk about, you know, whatever social media or other kind of things that I'm going to do for the home. You know, open houses, door knocking, right? All that. Then depending on, right, what category of price range and stuff I'm in, if this is a home where I think we need to do a delay of showings or set an offer deadline or anything like that, I'm going to talk about it next. If it's not, I am going to talk about like the day that I usually go on the market, right? Because I try my best to go on Wednesday because that's the highest viewing day. Then I'm setting the scenario for what that looks like as we go through showings, and I'm talking about, again, like showing time, not declining any showings, how we pick our open house schedule, all that good stuff. And then I get into that pricing strategy. Okay. And at the bottom of my pricing strategy page, it specifically says, we're going to flip this back over, it has circles that have this through it. And it says that your home is not worth what you want, what you need, what you paid, what Zillow says. I have that on my sheet.
Nice.
And I always go, okay, so here's the fun part, right? A home is not worth what you want, what you need, what you paid, or what Zillow says it's worth. It's worth what a buyer is willing to pay based on today's market, today's value, and today's competition. To get top dollar for your home, you have to be the best perceived value out there, right? Think about the internet. Everybody can look at the internet and everybody can see whether or not you're overpriced because they can go onto Zillow and they can see every house that's sold in your neighborhood. And if you're priced $25,000 or $30,000 above the other homes, what are they going to say? It's overpriced. And then you're going to have this disease called no-showitis because nobody's going to come see it because they're not perceiving the value. Does that make sense? That's pretty much exactly how I have that conversation. And I say, okay, so now when we look at the comparables, the comparable homes that have sold, you guys have heard me do this so many times, right? I explain we have to compare apples to apples and not apples to bananas. So you're a two-story, we have to compare you to other two-stories, not the ranches, right? And as long as that appraiser can find 3 homes that sold in the last year in your neighborhood, they're going to stay just in your neighborhood. And frequently, right, when we're in those types of neighborhoods, they're all gonna be built around that same time too, right? This isn't a 1920s farmhouse on 3 acres somewhere. Okay, and we said that buyers buy when they perceive value. So the appraiser uses those sold homes to justify the price that they're gonna come up with to give to the bank. But the pendings tell us where the market is going, and the actives are really important because that's our competition. So remember, we have to be the best home at the best price if we want to get top dollar and a quick sale. Does that make sense? Great. Okay, let's dive into those together. Now let's say, Katie, that I showed you 3 sold homes that were, like 475, like 488. We got a couple that are pending around 495. And we have 3 or 4 that are active and they're all like 525 or higher. I say, okay, so we've seen like our solds, this is our range. And with our sold homes, the highest one that we have is a 488. Now we've got 2 that are pending right now. And those 2 that are pending are at 490 and 494. So that's good. That tells us that this is moving, right? And then we have 4 that are sitting on the market right now, and they're all priced at so if we see that these are all sitting at 525 and you need a super quick sale, do you think that's the right price point for us to launch your home at?
Probably not.
Yeah. So I know it's a little bit less than what you were thinking. However, right, if we price it strategically and we price it correctly and we market it correctly, we may still have the chance to get 2 buyers that want it, which could create a bidding war. So we're going to try everything we can to make that happen.
What if we price at 475 and try and get a whole bunch of offers to raise the price?
If you're good with that, I am absolutely good with that. And that actually plays in to what we're talking about with, my brain is freezing, guys, totally freezing.
Multiple offers.
Sorry, no. Sorry, I'm thinking of like Zillow and Trulia and all those, but I just cannot think of the term right now that I always use. There is a way to optimize where your home shows up on the different websites like Trulia and Zillow and all those. It has to pick which houses come up first. And we already talked about using photos for that. Pricing can also do that because when people are searching for homes, they're usually searching a little bit below their max in case they have to get into a bidding war. And on those websites, they're set up in $25,000 increments. So if we list it at 475 rather than like 493, we're going to get all these people that have 475 as their cutoff, right? So that could be a great opportunity for exposing us to a larger number of buyers. And you will definitely look like that perceived value compared to the ones that are sitting. Now, there is a risk. There is a risk that we're not going to get multiple offers and that this is what you're going to walk away with. So I can't make that decision for you. I can tell you that if you're willing to go in at this, then I think there's a darn good chance that it's going to push you above 5.
Do you want me to push a little harder or just accept it?
Whatever you want to do.
What if we list at 475 and get multiple offers and one of the aspects of multiple offers is that I don't pay the buyer's commission? Would that net me more money?
It can net you more money in your pocket. That scenario is very rare because again, most agents that sell homes are selling 2 homes per year, and they're normally not going to give up a paycheck, right, in order to do that. And yes, commission is always negotiable. You're not required to pay a buyer's agent. However, if they are dependent on 2 paychecks a year then they're going to call me when we're on the market and say, are you offering cooperating compensation to the buyer's agent? And if I say no, even though they're not supposed to, they're going to choose to show their client other homes that are before coming to see ours. Is it fair? No. Is that how the game gets played? It is. I didn't violate any laws with what I just said there. It's absolute truth. And know your worth, right? Don't cut your commission. So they say, well, what if that doesn't give me what I need? Would you be willing to cut your commission to do that? You know what? I am very, very good at what I do. And if you choose me and you trust me, then I normally deliver on what I promise. Can I promise that you're going to get multiple offers and go to 525? No, I'm not. Can I say, are we gonna go above 500 and get closer to that 525? I would say that if we put it on the market at 475, we have about a 90% chance of that happening. And I am a miracle worker sometimes. So let's see what happens with getting this one sold and then trying to get you into that next one that you need. And if we're missing a few $1,000s to get you the house that you really, really want on the buy side, then we'll talk about that and I'll see what I can do to help. I'm not going to, because I'm not going to need to, because I'm that good. Are there times when I've had to give up my commission? 100%. And it's going to happen to all of you at some point in time. You will learn lessons. But don't just freely give it up. Why would you work for free? Right? Everybody got really quiet all of a sudden. Okay. So when I'm going through and I am doing my presentation, I am going through everything else in the beginning, right, to establish that and to make sure that they feel comfortable working with me and I feel comfortable working with them. Because again, I'm not going to agree on a price unless we're agreeing to work together. Because if you're not agreeing to hire me, who cares what price you want to list it for? So then I go through my comps and we picked a price and I'm like, great, we've got the hard part done. Yay! Now, let's talk about the timeline. So I know that you understand each step of the process and what's going to happen. So we go through the timeline and say, okay, now, I like to do my docs in person because I want to make sure that you fully understand what you're signing and that you don't have any questions about that. So I'm going to get us started here. I'm going to pull all my other docs out. I want you to start on the seller's disclosures for me. That's our hardest one. The rest will be easy peasy. And then I have them start with the seller's disclosures. And I go through and I get all that done. And then I'm going to say, okay, Katie, I know time is of the essence and that you are stressed out right now too, but how quickly can you be ready to go on the market?
Can you help me? Can you help me get a landscaper in and somebody to clean up that stack of firewood out by the fire pit and someone to power wash the front of the house? Can you help me with that?
I will send you all the referrals that I have. Now you have to reach out and hire them yourself, but I will send you all the referrals that I have for those types of things and let's see how quickly. So let's say hopefully then, if this is Tuesday, if we could have that done like later this week or through the weekend, I could schedule photos for Monday and we could be on the market next Wednesday. Do you think we can make that happen?
With help, absolutely, yes.
Okay, that's what we're gonna target then. So now I start filling out my, here's all the next steps, here's what we're going through, right? You can also have that conversation when you get to that delays and coming soon sheet in your paperwork. That's usually when I'm doing it, okay? So when are we going on the market?
A week.
That's all right. So what happens if, I'm gonna pull Katie out, so this scenario is just gone. I just met with Nate. And we're talking about selling Nate's home. and Nate wants to move to Byron Center. You know, he doesn't have a super pressing thing, like there's not a kid that has to be in school, so, and we know it can take a little while, right, to get his home sold, and then to find the next one. But, I say, so Nate, when do you think we could be ready to be on the market?
I don't know, a couple weeks, maybe a month.
Okay, so why do you think it's gonna be a couple weeks to a month?
I don't know, just got some family stuff coming up and, I don't know, a few trips planned and just got a busy time coming up.
Okay, so it's just a busy time of year.
Yeah.
Were there any big projects that I'm not aware of that you were still wanting to get done before we go on the market?
Did wanna redo or refinish the back deck before we went on and just don't really have time to take care of that myself right now.
Okay, so you're gonna hire that out? Do you already have somebody in mind, or do you need a referral for that?
I'd probably need a referral.
Okay, awesome. I've got 2 really good deck people, so I'll send those over. Usually decks are about 2 weeks out to be able to do anything, and you've got some travel going on right now. So it's June 23rd. If we are looking at about a month out, then we're looking around like July 22nd, July 29th. Which one of those do you think would be a better time frame for you? That's like 4 to 5 weeks.
I mean, probably the 29th. There's a pretty big festival coming up, on the 25th that our family goes to every year. So,
Okay. All right, great. Then we're gonna put the 29th on here, and that's gonna be what we're gonna work towards. Doesn't mean you're locked in, so if we have to switch something up, we can. But I'm going to do all of my work based on, we're going on the market on the 29th. Does that work for you?
sure.
Okay, great. I'm locking him into a date. Now, does it mean he's actually gonna stick to that date 50-50? He might end up pushing it out. But if you don't get them locked in on a date, then they will tend to procrastinate, and everything will just keep getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. So, try to lock in that date. Try to offer services and help them if they need help with something. And knowing your market is not just knowing homes and all that kind of stuff. It's also starting to get a general idea of how long it's gonna take to get somebody out to fix something, or how much it's gonna cost.
If I have a seller that I know is gonna be out of town for extended period of time, I do like to talk to them about that, especially if I know it's a property that's probably gonna have a bunch of showings. Cause that is a pain for homeowners when there's a bunch of showings, they basically have to move out anyway. So we can look at pushing that schedule and listing it a weekend that they're going to be gone as well. Helps, it makes their life easier. They don't have to keep cleaning the house. They don't have to worry about the life that they live in it, making sure it doesn't look like it's lived in.
Or especially like if they've had young kids that take naps in the middle of the day and then go to bed at like 7:30 at night. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
my goal is to sell your house in 1 weekend.
Yeah.
That is my goal. You're only inconvenienced for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then by Monday, you're accepting an offer, we're good to go. Is there somewhere you can go for that weekend? So you don't have to worry about this. And we won't be disrupting kids' nap schedules, They'll go stay at mom and dad's. Sometimes they'll go camping for a weekend, right? There's lots of different options and scenarios out there. Because you do want to make it as easy on them as you possibly can, but you also have to stress to them the importance of that first weekend on the market. We're not declining any showings the first weekend. If somebody wants in the door at 9 a.m., we're letting them in. If they want the door at 7 p.m., we're gonna let them in. Our best chance of getting best offer for you is that first weekend on the market.
I put clients up in a hotel before.
I said, usually with littles, I send them to Great Wolf Lodge for the weekend.
Yep.
They love you. You're now a superhero.
Yeah.
Right? Cost me $550. You're a superhero, and the house is under contract when they get home.
Yep.
But I end up with a lot of clients too that like have campers, and so they'll go camping for the weekend. if they've already told me they've already planned a camping trip, I'm not gonna offer up paying for Great Wolf Lodge. I'll probably go buy them something fun for the camping trip,
Yeah.
but, right? Okay, fantastic. 5 minutes to go. What do you want to talk about?
I use that Great Wolf Lodge story with my clients. They sold their home with a different agent. She didn't negotiate very good terms, but I was like, next time you can come with us and I'll get you out of the house for a weekend. It's like she was like, we hated doing all the showings. You know, it was the
Yeah.
worst time.
Nobody likes doing all the showings.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't, it's not fun.
No.
And if you have kids and pets, it's even worse. But, so not part of my listing presentation. Usually part of the conversation that I'm having afterwards with their next steps or getting ready for the open house or that kind of thing. One thing that I give all my clients is a laundry basket. It's just your generic white laundry basket. And it has a peel and stick label, you know, like this size, that's vinyl in the bottom with my logo and stuff on it. And when I give them the laundry basket, and I do it at the listing appointment, like as we're signing, or I bring it with me the day we're gonna do photos. And I say, this is your get out of the house quick basket. So, you know, keep it in the living room, keep it by the door, whatever. You get a last minute showing request and you have to get out of the house. Again, you can toss stuff into this basket, but there's always certain things that we don't want to have in the house when people are going through it. Do you have any firearms? You know, like knives, hunting equipment, anything like that?
Medication.
Jewelry, medication, a lot. Like it needs to go with you when you leave the house. So pack it all in this tub and just take it to the car with you when you leave. I'm gonna go, well, would somebody really steal? Here's the thing. The agents are going to watch their clients as best as they can. But let's say that their agents or their clients have 3 kids and they brought mom and dad and their best friend along to the showing. You can't follow 7 people around the house as one person. Somebody can easily slip off into another room and walk away with jewelry, with medication, with a handgun.
Heck, somebody just stole a jar of pickles. I saw that on.
I had the
No,
How's your
seriously,
dog?
it was on a DVR. Somebody was going through the house and
yeah.
It was.
there were complaints about agency.
Yeah, I had a lady in Fanville a couple of years ago. She owned a bed and breakfast, right? And we were selling the Victorian home and the business with it as a bed and breakfast. And she called me and she was so upset after one of the showings. She had these salt and pepper shakers that looked like roosters. And somebody took the salt and pepper shakers during the showing. Salt and pepper shakers.
They want to be woken up in the morning.
I guess so.
No, but they were probably valuable
Sure.
to someone who took them.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Or somebody liked them and thought they were super cute and they just wanted them. And just think about you as an agent and your client is in another room when you stepped out to take a phone call real quick. They could throw something under their coat and you're never going to see it.
or in the purse.
So I offered to buy her new salt and pepper shakers. I mean, I wasn't going to go chase down another agent and accuse their clients of stealing salt and pepper shakers. But yeah.
I don't know which one it is.
Sounds like a souvenir.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not random. It takes a salt and pepper.
But that's also helpful to your client, right? I've set the expectations of what could happen and that we're gonna do everything we can to safeguard it, but also I provided them with a means to have everything ready to go. Or, you know, some people have big safes or whatever, and I say, lock it all up. Just have it all locked up and keep it in the safe until we're through this part of the experience.
Same with open houses.
Mhm.
Yeah, I see, yeah.
Especially open houses.
They put cookies and everything. I think if I do one with the pickles. Just in case. Just in case. Right? The Polish pickles, the little ones that
Yeah.
the jars. I love those.
Oh.
I have to be somewhere.
Thank you for being here, Mark. Did everybody sign the
Tyler,
sheet?
good to see you.
Name? Susan.
Oh, you're lucky.
What? I know.
Alright.
No, I was just going like this and coming back to you, you know?
Everybody. Other questions or comments?
Stories that
Brian.
I don't remember.
Brian would be like.
No, I for sure.
Yes. I know her name. Susan, Nate, Tyler,
Martin Melvin.
Martin Melvin, yeah.
I hope it's in there.
I haven't done it in a few weeks.
Yes, yes.
Get better.
Peyton, there you go. I'm trying to remember.
This is Michelle. She's in the Hastings area.
Hi, Michelle. How you doing? I'm Martin.
Michelle Frill.
Nice to meet you.
Got one in Hastings going live next
Okay.
I'm long way.
I gotta run, guys. Sorry.
So,
Good to see you, Coach.
Alright.
Good to see you, Coach.
Thanks, you too. Yeah. I like properties this summer, for sure. Yeah.
I got one on this, like, you saw that one.
Yeah.
It's what's up to, the state land. It's got 5 acres.
Yeah.
The house there. But it's $499.99 right now. is the-
Yeah.
That's a great
It's
price.
almost 6 acres.
Thanks for hanging
Yeah,
with me,
that's a great
Paige.
price.
I have a random question.
Yeah, that's but
Get on
the,
table lane.
but the,
He's doing that.
Yeah.
And she was telling me about it.
Solid house, installing his garage.
we used to,
And.
well, not like steal something, like we would trash my parents, my friends' parents, like their houses and stuff.
Right, so for our MLS.
And I didn't trash like that, like we would,
Sales.
I would steal CDs myself.
You're welcome.
People were like, animals or something.
I don't get it if you're in my or higher.
Wanna
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yes, you are. So like 4th of July, and that's where like they would go to the bathroom, sit in the upstairs bathroom. And sure enough, people finally found the fireworks. Eventually, people were taking out,
And they're all
lighting
cheers.
them off in the house. What's
Yeah.
going on? And they were always
Oh, yeah, that's like, we would like, people like throw TVs out, all the furniture would get thrown out windows and stuff. It's not what I was thinking. I did Kids are in. Oh,
Michigan
Michigan
State.
State.
I got my safety.